What's up, guys? Hope all is well. We got another show today. Nice. I don't know if you could see that. These are my cards. Today, I decided to do this actually early in the morning before I go to work, to be honest. And instead of doing a night broadcast. But today I kind of wanted to talk about something really, really deep and serious. I'll be horsing around like usual. Today I wanted to talk about how to deal with death. And it's very interesting because over the course of this year, I had like 2 deaths in my family, unfortunately going on possibly 3. I don't want the 3rd one to happen, but my grandmother's actually sick as well right now. And basically my godmother passed. She was like the woman that would, if there were an emergency, anything happened to my mom and my dad, happened to our family, she would probably take us out. For those who don't know what the concept of a godmother is, she would probably be our guardian and have been the one that raised us. She was there since I was a kid. We got pictures of her holding me as a baby at my birthday parties and stuff. Me and my sister. And then less than a month later, actually my grandfather, while my godmother was sick, he was getting sicker. My godmother had cancer, who she had beat a couple times, and then my grandfather had Alzheimer's. And their healths were deteriorating. Then they, unfortunately they didn't make it. They fought hard, well past what the doctors was trying to say they was gonna live past too. But they ain't make it. And when somebody dies in your family, you never forget it because you're not allowed to. It's like if you were close to them, it's like a hole kind of just opens up in your heart, your chest, and it just never closes. That's the best way I can describe death. Like, it never goes away. I remember the first time I ever experienced death was with my Uncle Cody, and I would remember every time. I wouldn't even see him, every day, but it was those days where, like, I would wake up and I would just think, like, dang, I miss my uncle. Because you can hear the person's voice, you can see their smile, and it would just, like, remind you of the time, like, wow, they really not here anymore. So, how do you deal with death? The best answer, or the best advice or the first step anyway, that I can give y'all, and it's what I've heard plenty of other people say before to me, is just to keep moving, to keep going. Like, don't harp on the sadness, and keep going. And I would kind of side-eye that, because, like, how you not gonna harp on somebody that, your loved one just died, you really love them? How are you not gonna feel some type of way about it, not harp on it? And basically now that I've experienced it to a little higher level, and I know it could be a lot worse. Like, it was my godmother and my grandfather who I was close with, especially my grandfather. I would like go when I was in college. I would go spend the night at I spend the night at his house all the time. It would just be me and him, and he became. It's weird calling he ain't become my older brother, cause it's weird. He was my grandfather, so he can't really be my older brother, but that was the homie, and I learned so much from my dad, but from my grandfather, I learned the example. I got an example from him. All the stuff my pops taught me to be, I feel like I can actually see what he was talking about with my grandfather. And then my godmother was like, just like the nicest, most chillest woman that I kind of knew. She's chiller than my mom. And I felt like they were the perfect balance. Their friendship was so strong because they were the perfect balance for each other. My mom was the she was the striker. She's just the strong woman that don't play no mess. And my godmother was the nice woman that seemed like let stuff roll off her shoulders. But you get to the point where you feel their absence. You get to the point where you feel them not being here. And what you do with that is, I mean, nothing. You can't really do nothing with it. They're not there anymore. You gotta accept it. But there are remedies, like I said, to dealing with their absence. I don't know what that is. Hold on one sec. My bad, folks. There's remedies to dealing with their absence is what I was saying. But you know, that hole don't ever go away. Now, what I would recommend to a lot of people that have experienced stuff, especially like I like I said, I didn't lose like my sister or my brother or like somebody that was my best friend or something I would see every day, and it pained me when the ones I didn't see every day died. So I know the ones that have to see somebody every day and then they just flat out they're in your life no more. I know y'all dealing with a different type of pain, dog. The second remedy would probably be, outside of just keep moving, I'll say the second remedy for dealing with somebody that passed is to kind of not replace their love, but more so, you know how they say don't take nobody you got in your life for granted. Well, a lot of times people do, after they lost somebody, they kind of gravitate. They have two options, or two things that people do. Usually they either get more closed off or they gravitate to somebody else and almost put that burden on somebody else. And they don't realize they're doing it, but they look for a strong arm or a strong shoulder that they can lean on. Not to sound too cliche, but it's always good to have somebody that you know, that you can open up to. And this is pretty much a given, but the reason why I'm saying it to y'all, it's not hard to come to that. Like, you naturally would do that. That's not like difficult advice to find out. But I also like want people to be aware of it, because watch this, like, boom, you might not know that you've neglected a person until they have after somebody in your life has passed, and then now you looking for help. Now you looking for somebody that can help you with your burden. I think the best way, people should probably not be surprised about death. Like, you probably should be prepared that anybody in your life could pass at any time. I mean, that's crazy, but it's true. Like, anybody in your life can pass at any time, and you got to kind of put it in order. You got to put people in your life or position people for, if stuff goes down, who can I hit up? You get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even think like that. It's called thinking ahead, but we just don't do that because we living now. You ain't thinking ahead. We thinking now. So, but yeah, finding somebody that's and to be more specific, like, it's interesting that, well, my mom and grandma's relationship was when they would talk to each other daily. They would talk to each other daily, and they got each other through the harsher deaths, meaning in their family somebody else passed, and they would be the shoulder to lean on. But real talk, during this time period, like, people be sleeping on therapy, but it's like paying for somebody who has a job to do, to just care. And we need more safe spaces, care havens for people, especially for, like, I be talking, I don't know if y'all saw my last video, Make Them Stretch, which was about, like, gun violence in the inner city, stopping gun violence among anybody, but mostly, like, specifically young black boys. For them, like, 16, 17, 19, 21-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 9-year-olds, whatever the case may be. For the young kids that's bipping, like, bipping heavy, and they, like, are, like, they one after one, like pinballs dropping, like, their homies is dying next to them, and they got so much pain that they can't really handle it. Honestly, therapy would be the best thing for those kids, because they don't have, a lot of times, if there's a lot of dudes that choose to be in the streets, but there's also a lot of kids that just grow in the neighborhood that they grow up in, they on the block that they in, and they're just in it. It don't matter. It's not that they don't feel like they had a choice. They was there. Everybody around them was in whatever squad, crew, gang, whatever thing that they was in, they were in it. So they don't have an outlet outside of the place that they live, outside of the environment that they live. So a therapist is somebody that is not in your environment, not seeing you day to day, not talking to you, not knowing what you's going into your life, but is there to care for you outside of your situation. Only problem with a lot of us, and why we don't embrace it, is because it feels weird. Why am I about to open up with somebody I don't know? Why am I about to open up and pay somebody to tell them about my feelings? Or why am I about to allow the illusion to people who know that I'm going to therapy that I'm crazy and I need, like, some kind of help? Like, oh, I need medication. So you gotta market it differently, for real. We gotta market, when all these people talking about mental health. I'm tired of hearing people talking about mental health, because it's like, it seems soft how they talk about it, Like people going, quitting or not going to their jobs, or quitting or just acting a certain way, not filling up the par because of mental health. But it's also very much necessary. And I just think you gotta market it to make it sound cooler and more casual. Mental health should be talked about like food, like and water. Like you need water to survive. You gotta drink a couple of bottles of water a day, or you get dehydrated, or you gotta eat food or you'll starve. You gotta go to therapy or you mentally be scrambled. Your feelings will be all over the place. Like we gotta talk about it like that. It gotta be talked about like church. And church, real talk, church was supposed to be an outlet where they have ministers to do that. But along the way, that's a long story. I'll probably touch on that in another video. Basically, like the church kind of their ministry is different. It kind of veered off into different types of therapy. Usually it's when people are sick or marriage counseling and yada yada yada. And that's an older crowd. That's another thing. Churches need to revamp their young crowd participation in their outreach to younger generations. But that's another conversation. Therapy, though, honestly, we gotta make it not taboo. We gotta make it casual, and it gotta be everywhere. It gotta be in the hood. It gotta be in the uppity, quarters, the bourgeoisie and the boule houses. It has to be everywhere. And it has to be presentable. For a person that just lost somebody just died, or you had multiple deaths, or like I said, the youngins, they seen that work every day. It'd be nice if they can just grab them right off the street, right then and there. Be like, hey, bro, I know what happened. You ain't gotta explain nothing to me. I want you to come to my session. There'll be free food, relax, come through, and I just want you to just talk about how you feel. I know your man just died. I know your mother just died. I know your pops just died. Come through and talk. So I gave you out 3. Keep moving. Find somebody else to dish out that love that you previously had. Find somebody else to be able to flesh out, or not flesh out, more so I don't want to use the word replace, but kind of find a new mold, a new person that can be parallel or similar to the person that you just lost. They can fill a new space or patch a new place in your chest, even if you got a hole open over here. And then the third was find somebody you can flesh out your issues to on a professional level, which is like therapy. They got these programs too in the hood. Well, not in the hood, where they go to the hood. On college campuses and stuff, they used to have like Big Brother programs. My dad used to tell me about, and they had buddy programs at my school too, at college, where they would have somebody kind of shadow. But it wasn't guided towards emotion. It was more so like career development or something. Just follow this person around. He's older than you, she's older than you. Follow them around and kind of learn how to navigate around campus and stuff like that. You need one specifically. You need a buddy program or a brother program or sister program that's specifically guided towards emotion. How are you feeling right now? Let me tell you how I do this. For real talk. When I'm not feeling well with this and I feel like I'm depressed or something going through my life, I walk to the lake. No, that's what I would have given. That's the advice I would have given. I walk to the lake and I clear my mind. And I just stay there until I feel better. I look at the water. I kick my feet up. I don't. I don't. I just relax. I'm not even trying to think about nothing. There's no structure to it. I just relax. All right. I breathe, inhale and exhale for 25, 30 minutes. Just think about my breath and let my thoughts linger. Until I feel better. And that's how I navigate around my sadness. You gotta have somebody like that. Honestly, who's been there before and that can lay a groundwork for somebody that just lost somebody. You have to have that. Or just, any type of emotional discomfort. Back to the death thing. Death's emotional discomfort. That's a different beast. It's a different beast because they don't really talk to you about it as much. They really don't talk to you about death that much. You kind of just go with it. Honestly, they probably should have a class on it in school. That one day you are going to face this no matter what. Somebody in your family is going to have to go through it. One of your friends, your teacher, your co-worker, jobs, somewhere in your life you're going to have to face this. And then when it's all said and done, you're going to have to face it yourself because everybody got to die. It'd be nice if we had a class on that. And then, you talk to them about, oh, boom. What's the protocol for when somebody dies? How do you set up funeral arrangements? Do you want a traditional funeral? Do they want to be cremated? What do you ask the person that is sick? What do you ask them while they're here? Hey, how do you want to go out? Do you want to be buried next to your deceased wife or your widowed husband? You get what I'm saying? Like, those kind of conversations we do not have. Like, as a society, I don't even think, I wonder how they do it in the rest of the world, but we don't kind of have those conversations. Like, did you write a will? Are your kids set? Who do you want this? Who do you want this? Is there any relationship quarrels that you haven't resolved right here that we need to take note of before you go? If money ain't present, if money ain't straight, what should we do? Is there anybody you haven't talked to in years that you want to come to your funeral? Is there anybody you want us to send a letter to that you have any regrets with? Or do you want to do anything for somebody before you go? Do you want us to find some that we can give to somebody that you always wish you... Is there anything you wish you would have said? Like, stuff like that could change society. And then you won't even have all these, like... Dog, you won't even have people holding in stuff. People been holding in stuff for years. It's so much pain. It's so much pain in a nigga chest that you could see the pain on their face, dog. You can see the pain walk with them for the rest of their life, and they don't never let it go because, like I said, it's a hole that is open and it just stays like that unless you have ways of dealing it. It's like air just seeping out of you. That's what death is. That's the best way to explain it. Air seeping out of you, and the memories that you had with that person are slowly fading. And you trying to hold on to the memories. And that's even more painful after your person is gone. after the damage is inflicted, you're trying to hold on those small memories that you have left of that person. And then there's other sides to it too. There's some people that are sadists, meaning they well, not sadists like that. Sadists mean like they enjoy pain, but more so emotionless. They don't feel it. You know, they don't feel death in that manner. But this is for the ones that are kind of that do feel it. Lastly, I would say another point I gotta make is this. When someone dies, it don't matter whether you're a spiritual person or not, whether you believe in God, yada yada yada. I'm not trying to get in all that. But let's just talk about essence, as if you don't want to call it spirit. Let's talk about essence. The essence of a person existed while they were here. And I'm a firm believer too that even though a person's body is gone or the majority of their essence is gone with them, they leave essence after they're gone. When somebody dies, I want you to buy something. Like, legit buy something. Like, buy something that's going to remind you of that person, or that you feel that person is. Now, don't get weird with it, because I've heard, stuff where like, hey, somebody bought a locket and they think, oh, the soul of the person is in the locket. And it's like, no, you're not doing all that. But buy something, and that's why you see a lot of people like, oh, after their homie died or the brother, sister, blah blah blah, they get the t-shirt or they get a tattoo of them, so that will always be there with them regardless if they forget, and all they gotta do is look at that and it reminds them of my homeboy, he died, blah blah blah, what year and all that stuff. People do that stuff like that all the time, but there's a reason why they do that. My grandpa, actually, that's why I was wearing this. My grandfather. This is going to be like one of my favorite hoodies now because it represents something. He's next to his wife and my grandmother. It's my mom and dad's wedding picture, but, buy something. You got to buy something that allows you to think about that person. I mean, all the good times that you had with them, and maybe all the bad times you had with them. Yeah, that's the fourth one. Fifth, let me give you one more step. The fifth step. So the fourth step, if the fourth step was to buy something that's going to hold them here, hold their essence here, the fifth step is actually the complete and utter opposite of that. But watch this. I want you to do both because I'm doing both. And I feel like it's the best way to handle it. After you get something that holds that person's essence here with you, I want you to release the rest of their essence. And what I mean by that is you can't completely hold on to somebody that's not here because they're not here. You get what I'm saying? Holding on, it's almost like holding on to a hoop dream, or holding on to something that you didn't accomplish. In basketball or in sports, they'll tell you like, hey, after you commit a turnover, next play. Don't hold on to the mistakes, or it's going to mess up your moving. It's going to mess up the next plays moving forward. You kind of got to do the same thing with death. after your loved one has passed, get something where you have taken their space, and you taken those memories and you put it in a place, and you put it in one spot. You consolidate it in a spot. If something happens to that, you can always remake it. Okay, that's the one thing about essence. You can always just remake it how you want it, but make sure you contain it in a certain area. Then release whatever else relating to them, meaning you gotta essentially let go. You could go by, you can drive by all the places you went with that person and be like, hey, that's where such and such and me used to blah, blah, blah. That's where me and Godma used to eat at. That's where me and Grandpa, I remember, the snow reminds me of me and my grandpa being stuck outside the house when it was snowing. Like, you can have all those, but you also gotta release the hold onto them, because now they're gone physically. And the best advice I can give you for that is when I say release them, allow yourself to understand that they're in a better place. Now, I don't want to get too deep into the hell and heaven if you don't believe in God stuff. I don't want to get into all that. But let's say you don't believe in God, or nobody created us, or it's just nature, yada, yada. Allow yourself to believe that, hey, they've reestablished the nature norm. Their body's no longer here. Their soul is, their death has happened. They're no longer on this earth. Now nature has reverted back to itself, and that's how it was supposed to work. That was the purpose. If you're somebody that is a believer, allow yourself to believe that, hey, they're gone, but they're in a better place, and they're in heaven now. They're not thinking about me anymore. They were probably looking down on me, and they're wondering, like, why y'all upset? I'm up here in the most beautiful. It's amazing up here. All the stress and pain that I had on earth, that is gone. You gotta allow yourself to think that, ooh, they business. It's not that their eternal spirit is gone. Their business here on earth is just done. They've moved on to a different dimension. They've moved on to a different norm or world dorm. And they're fine. They handling business. I got to be able to take a step to move through. The best way I would recommend doing that is meditating, or just like letting go. Every time you think about that person and you're about to get sad, take a deep breath and just breathe. Just let it, like, and when you let them out, let that breath out, it's like, just let go of the pain right there. And it's, I guess I'm making it sound, I don't want to make it like I'm making it sound too easy and be insensitive, but you have to do that. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You got to do that, or you'll, it's like a filter. You'll just allow yourself the pain and suffering that you got for that person. You just allow it to get pent up. It's a dirty filter, or like a dirty vacuum, and you got so much dirt inside you, and it's just stuck in there. But you gotta let it out, and you gotta clean it. You gotta clean your heart and emotion. That's the best way to put it. You gotta clean your heart. Okay? Release the pain after you've accepted. Sorry about that. Release the pain after you've accepted it, and after you've contained it somewhere, and then let go. Did I put this right? Hold on. Release the pain after you've accepted it's here. After you've ignored it already and kept moving. Accept it. Release, compartmentalize it or contain it in one spot, whatever's left, and then the rest release and let go. So you can finally be free. That's what really the main thing I wanted to get to y'all was death is like a life chain. Death is like a life chain. The moment somebody dies in your life, that person becomes like a chain that just got thrown on top of you. And if you allow that chain to just lay on top of you, it'll weigh you down, bro. You won't be able to move how you used to move. You know? You won't be able to go places without feeling like you're just that heavy burden is all on your shoulder. I know that's how I feel with my grandfather, and I definitely probably will feel that with my parents. And I don't even know how I'd be able to do without my sis. But it'll weigh you down if it's there for too long. But realize that some people allow chains to hold them down, and other people wear chains like it's jewelry. You feel me? You don't want to be the person that is constricted, like a chain is putting you in a prison. You got the legs chained up and your arms chained. You don't want that. You don't want no chain to hold you like in place like you're a car on the back of a truck, a big truck. You want to wear your chains. You want to wear chains like it's stylish. You want to wear chains like they're special to you and mean something. Or you want to use your chains to lasso onto a foundation, and that way you can be free with it around you, but no matter where you go, you'll always have something to revert you back to that foundation. And that's what you do with death. I got something now that no matter what I do in life, it will always take me back to the base of when I met this person, or how we felt, or what we talked about while they were here. Maybe I'll start the career or start the business that we talked about while they were here. Maybe I'll do something with their kids. Since they passed, I'll make sure I do something for their kids. Or make sure that their kids know they can come reach out to me, and I'll try to be a better parent for them since their mom or pops is gone. Or maybe I'll a lot of people start foundations for their loved ones. Like, hey, you usually hear, hey, after Mark Lewis died, we got the Mark Lewis Foundation where you can get a scholarship and stuff. People do that. You've seen that before. You got to do something like, I'm going to make the Mark Lewis building that allows people to, say Mark Lewis died from a car accident. This is the Mark Lewis building where we discuss proper driving tactics, or highway guards or something like that, that the essence of that person will last. You know what I mean? That's what you call it. Like I said, that's a base, that's a foundation. And you could still live your life, but you'll know every time you leave that place, it'll revert you back. I mean, wherever you go, that essence of that person is still there, and you can revert back to base. You can revert back to that foundation, and it'll remind you of them. A lot of this stuff is pretty much a given, but I wanted to lay it down for you. So I gave you the 5 things. Keep moving. You got to keep moving. 2, find a person that kind of replaces the essence. 3, damn, I done forgot what 3 was. Hold on. Sorry, I forgot. 3 would be to find like therapy or somebody you can flesh out your pain with. 4 would be to finally accept the pain and to contain it somewhere, contain it into something, whether that's by buying something that keeps them here, or getting something that is significant to that person. And after you accept it, then that was 4. After you accept it, 5 would be to finally let go of everything else that is associated with them by releasing, accepting, and releasing their essence. If you got those 5 down, you should be good. You should be good in this process. You should be able to move forward. And even though you won't be the same as you were before they died, you probably would be able to move on as if they're still here. Or as if you're okay with them not being here. You get what I'm saying? And they're okay with you not being here. And also, too, interestingly enough, like I said, everybody deals with this differently, especially if the person is different. Maybe sometimes you'll find, and I've seen this on movies, I don't know if I've seen this in real life, but I've seen stuff where like people was like, oh, I didn't get along with that person while they was here, or that person caused me so much pain while they were here. So I'm actually relieved that they're gone, but in a weird way, even those people kind of still hold on to the person. You like, even the boys like that, like I said, the Bipper boys are like the hitters, like they still holding on to their ops long after they gone, because they be mentioning them names in their songs, and they be still throwing up, they speaking on their names after they're gone to diss other people. That's still holding on to a person after they gone. You get what I'm saying? So, release, that 5th one is important. The release and the release and the letting go. That one's very important. And I want to give a bonus. I wish there was just something. There was something that I could say that can just really make y'all feel better, because I needed that when my grandfather was gone. I needed that. And I wanted somebody to say this. I'm gonna give y'all a bonus one. The 6th one, the bonus piece of advice that I give for somebody when they die in your life, is to cry. You have to find a good time to cry. Now, I notice a lot of females got this. They got this a little bit better than the males, but usually my podcasts are actually guided towards helping us brothers out. But it's for everybody, but I focus in and prioritize a lot of the brothers. You gotta cry, bro. You have to cry. I mean, a really, really good cry. a really, really good cry where you let it out. And I know we be feeling some type of way. We not, that's weak. Like to show our emotions. That's the type of time we be on. Like, it's weak to show anybody close to you like that. But you gotta let it. You got to. That's part of the release process. And excuse me, there's something that crying does for your body. Actually, I'm not a doctor or scientist. I ain't even finna get into all that, but it helps physically. It actually helps relieve the stress of your body. You gotta cry, and once you cry, then that's letting something come out of your body. I want you to put something back in, which is get you like the most coolest smoothie you can find, or like the most sweet drink that you love, or something that after your heart hurt, it just sunk, something that's gonna bring your joy right all the way back up. Get you a bag of Twizzlers or something. Like that's my favorite candy. Get you something that's after you de-escalate, you go below sub level, it rises you back up to that. I want you to do that right after you cry. Don't wait, because it'll just leave it just leaves. If you go down here and you just stay, and it just evens out right there. I want you to go down and come back up. So after you cry, and then pleasure, reward. Cry, and then you get something that makes you happy. And you have to do that when somebody dies. You can do the after the crying thing. You usually, what people do is they get, like I said, I gave a lot of this stuff, all y'all have heard of, known, seen, but I'm trying to give y'all steps that you can do it, and it has order, structure to it. A lot of people try this, kind of just happens naturally, and they just do it all over the place. That person dies, they go to the funeral, they cry there, then later on they go to the person's house and pick up stuff that reminds them of them, and they hold on to that, and then they go about their life. You know what I mean? And that what they do for step 1, or go to step 3 with the therapist, or talk to somebody, and then they become friends with somebody else to deal with the pain that they're dealing with over here. You get what I'm saying? It's all over the place. You need structure. You need the structure. I'm giving y'all the structure. Excuse me. You got it all here. Boom. Number 1. Damn it, I done forgot number 1. Number 1. Keep moving forward. Number 2. Find an outlet. Find somebody to replace the love lost, or the pain to be covered up. Replace the person, or find an outlet for that pain, for that person. Find an outlet. 3. Discuss with a therapist. Go to therapy, or somebody you can talk to specifically about how you're feeling with that emotion. 4. God. What did I say for number 4? 4, buy something with that person's essence on it. Buy something that reminds you of that person, that always keeps them here, or build a foundation for them. Or build a foundation, a base that you can always go back to. 5, you have to accept that they're gone. You gotta accept that they're gone, and compartmentalize, or keep their pain in one spot, one space. Okay, contain it somewhere. And that's philosophical, but like I said, that's like basically giving the pain a trademark. 6, finally do something to let it go. Let it go, release, meditation, massage, sauna, spa, something where you let it go and breathe and exhale and let it out. 7, 6 and 7 were the bonuses. 7 is what I just talked about. 7 is to cry and be happy really fast at the same time. Cry is another form of releasing, letting it completely out, and make sure as soon as you're done releasing, you do something that makes you extremely happy right after it, so you can understand that life, it'll put you on the course to live life how it was before that person passed. Life goes on. Happiness and sadness is part of life. That's the only way you're going to be able to deal with that death. So, I'm going to put all the tips down in the description. I honestly want to hear from y'all. If I missed anything, or if my advice wasn't helpful, if it was helpful, or if you got a homie you want to talk about how homie passed it, you want to talk about how it made you feel, or a family member passed, and you want to talk about how you're dealing with it, I want y'all to comment and let me know. My dad probably would, if he were to listen to this, he would say I missed one key element, which is pray. But I also wanted to make this open to people who, I don't know y'all religions, I don't know y'all be praying to, but pray. I'll tell y'all to do, just before I close, is just to pray, actually. Just because he would tell me to tell y'all that. Pray and ask God to make you feel better. Pray and ask God for you to have some. Pray and ask God to keep that person. Keep him in his step and his faith. Keep him in his works and in his home. So when you can let them go down here, you ain't got to worry about them, because they with him up there. See how that works? Pray. And if, all that stuff is real, all that, supernatural connection stuff is real, then God will answer. And he'll handle his business the same way you got to handle yours down here. So I love y'all. This was how to deal with death. There'll be more episodes soon for the podcast. Y'all stay full of life. Y'all stay free out here. And tomorrow, my godmother, my grandpa, all the other loved ones, my Uncle Goldie, all the ones that have passed. I love y'all. I'll always remember y'all. Y'all are still here. Got Essence still here, and the ones that, that's not here, the party that's not here is up there. All y'all in the comments, all y'all watching this video, I love y'all too. Keep fighting. Don't let nothing in your life drag you down. Know that you're not the only one going through it. We all going through it. And, in death, we all feel a certain type of way, but the strength of this whole conversation here is that we all got a life. We got a chance at life. All right, that's enough for sounding deep for today. Peace. See y'all later. Mike Fulahope podcast out.